So hello and welcome to another edition of FanFormula, and this week it's all about Melbourne because the Grand Prix is back. Yay! This is always a winner. So let's kick off with this week's questions. So question 1, Williams appears to have come back strong with a great battle between Maldonado, but what did you make of the midfield teams today battling against the likes of Ferrari and Mercedes? I really enjoyed it today. It was nice to see Sauber and the Lotus teams mixing in with the Ferraris and the Mercedes. Thing is, though, when you say Ferrari is a midfield team, that's a bit of a lie because Fernando was actually doing quite well. It was more Massa that was more midfield than anybody else. I was loving it. Sauber were always one of them teams that sneak in and take points at the end, a bit like Toro Rosso do. They come from the back and scrape their last points that add up to the great end of the season. So yeah, we knew Massa wasn't going to be great from qualifying, and we knew Mercedes were going to be great because of what we'd seen from them in practice and qualifying. So I don't think there was a major shock seeing things like Maldonado being quick because Melbourne at the end of the day is a street circuit, so of course he's going to be speedy. But Senna, people forget that Senna's only gone into that Williams from HRT. So it's not exactly going to be. He's not exactly going to be streaking with Maldonado yet. It's going to be a while before we see the teams and teammates come into play. So that's why I think Australia's one of the better races because it's a bit of a mixed up grid. Because as Sebastian Vettel said, until you pull down your pants, you don't know what everyone's got. So yeah, question 2. What do you make of the move that lets back markers unlap themselves under the safety car? Does it prolong the safety car, or is it fair on those that would be outplaced due to slap cars? Watching that at about, you know, like 7 in the morning, that was terrifying. I know this rule's been done before, but I swear last time when it was done before, it seemed a bit more safer. This time, cars were weaving and like Glock and Pick were going past. And, oh, my heart was in my mouth. It was absolutely terrifying. I understand why they do it and they can unlap themselves. That's great. That doesn't bother me, but there's got to be a safer way than doing it. Plus, we had the safety car up an extra at least lap and a half longer than it needed to be because of this rule. So I think they should keep the rule, but they need to really modify that more a bit quickly. Question 3. If you watch via Sky, what is your overall opinion of the new team and their coverage? And if you watch the BBC, how did you find watching the highlight show rather than the live coverage? Did the lack of excitement knowing that the race was already over? Well, I didn't watch BBC at all, so I can't comment on anything related to the BBC. It'd just be unfair. I watched all of Sky's coverage, and they had an hour and a half build up to the race, which was too long. I got up at 4:30 for it in the morning, and it was way too long. Didn't need to be. An hour was plenty. And the team, I love Crofty and Brundle together. Why they didn't think of that before, I never know. Ant Davidson is really good. I love Ted Kravitz anyway, and I think Natalie Pinkham does a really good job. Now, I know people have been slated Georgie Thompson. She's not bad. She knows her sport, but she was sort of just there, and she wasn't doing a lot. And I feel sorry for her because, it's not her fault, and she's not done anything wrong. But it's like all the space has been filled, and they felt like they've just shoved her there. She's the eye candy. She can go there, and I think that's a bit wrong, really. So I don't know what they're going to do with Georgie, really, which is a bit of a shame. But the coverage with Sky was really hard to deal with at times. They haven't got any really exciting or interesting new features yet, apart from Brundle driving a Ferrari, which weren't exactly, for me, really exciting to watch. Obviously, I don't mind the ad breaks throughout the build-up because, especially when it's like 5 in the morning, it gives me a chance to go and wake up with a cup of coffee. So that's no biggie. But there needs to be some major tweaks before it gets to the standard of BBC coverage. And the bonus question this week was, what was my favourite moment of the weekend? My favourite moment, funny enough, was, I've got a few. So Webber, better in 5th. Yes. It's always been his bogey track, his home race. So I was so grateful that he got 4th. I was so chuffed for him. Even if he did bugger up the start. He always buggers up the start. Get your start sorted out. I'm sorry, I'm going to go into a rant here. If he sorts that out, my bet for him to be world champion could still be on. Fingers crossed. And my other favourite moment was Perez. I love Perez. I love Sauber. And I love them all. They're great. And Perez was like stuck bang at the back. And you know he's so good on his tyres. He's always known as being like a 1-2 stopper. So we knew he was going to come through. And even though he was he dropped some places right at the end, he hung on and he claimed 8th. And I was so unbelievably chuffed for him, especially as last year he got his points disqualified for infringement. So I was really, really chuffed. But I was chuffed to see Button win because British. So yeah, that was my favourite moments of the Grand Prix. So this has been week 7 of FanFormula. If you want to check out FanFormula or check out my blog posts, they're all down here. And yeah, I will see you all next week for Malaysia. So bye.